First of all, it feels good to be a legend, but not just a legend, but a living legend.
Yeah.
Just think about it. A living legend.
Living legend.
In this SEC.
Freak out.
Yeah.
Just one time.
What's up?
Yeah. Freak out. So
Let's go behind the mask.
welcome to another edition of the Behind the Mask podcast. I'm your host, Takeo Spikes, with the co-host,
Your favorite plus size model, Tutan, Reyes in the building.
and we have another special guest. Every guest is special. Man, give it up for my homeboy, my dog. We got a lot of history with each other. The freak, also known as Jevon Kearse.
And the curtain opens.
That's the freak for you.
No doubt, no doubt.
Oh, shoot.
What's happening, bro?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Just flew up here from South Florida. Got in last night. Come to join these SEC festivities.
Yeah, and you came to bless us with your presence on the Behind the Mask podcast.
I've been waiting my turn, man. What took so long to reach out to me, man?
Well, we were strategically, we didn't want to inconvenience you, so we knew that you were going to be in the city, and so once that was official, that's when I reached out. I was like, you know what? I know we've been waiting. Oh, what I'm talking
Man,
about?
I'm always looking to travel, man. And anytime to come up to the
For sure. So talk about it, man. You here, honored as an SEC legend. What does that feel like, man?
First of all, it feels good to be a legend, but not just a legend, but a living legend.
Yeah.
Just think about it. A living legend.
Living legend.
In this SEC, TKO, in this college thing, this SEC thing, man, that's big.
Huge.
It's big.
It's huge. It's only so many. And a lot of people want to know about the SEC legend. So they pick a guy from every SEC team to come be a representative to honor them for the work that they've been able to do.
Yes.
Name some of the other guys who are, you don't have to name every guy, but just a few other guys who are being honored this weekend with you.
Well, personally, two guys that I played professionally with, of course not in college, I went to different colleges, but Darren Walker, defensive lineman, we played together in Philadelphia. We played together for 3 years when before he went to Chicago. And then also another legend that's getting inducted is Jevon Kearse. He played on me. We played together in Tennessee in 08 and 09. And the cool thing about that is we was on the same Tennessee team together that had 3 Jevons at one time. It was 3 of us. It wasn't just 2 Jevons. It was 3 Jevons on the team at the same time. And he's getting honored as well. He was a D lineman as well. So here with 2 of my D line mates from the NFL is pretty cool.
You had all them Jevons, but there's only one freak.
Oh, it's only one original. It's only one original. The OG. It's the OG.
Yeah.
Hey, so like we need to get to the origin of the freak though, because I remember we both came out of high school together, played in the Georgia-Florida game, and a lot of people don't know this. What was your position when you came? You were defensive end, all pro bowler, came second in voting when it comes to AP defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
2 times.
Yeah.
So what position did you play in high school?
Wide receiver and free safety.
Wide receiver and free safety.
Yeah, that was so long ago. That was like so many moons ago, man. But let me tell you my thing about this high school thing before you even get into that. I just remember getting to the Florida-Georgia All-Star game, and there was this kid that played for Georgia. And like when I think we was at lunch or something, this dude walked in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
It's like that dude, he's supposed to be 18. He's supposed to be coming out of high school, going to college. I mean, he looked like he may be 18, but his neck looked like it was already in the Hall of Fame. And this kid went by the name of Takeo Spikes. And that was you, my man. He had that neck. Listen, his neck was already like Hall of Fame. Like
Got that Hall of Fame.
like Hall of Fame neck, but he was going in as an All-American high school kid, but his neck was different though. It was different.
I'm gonna tell you that this is the part that I didn't know. I didn't realize my neck was so big until I got to college, and Terry Bowden told me, well, Takeo, this is how we do things on game day. I need for you to go get a sport coat, of course, collar, tie, and all of this. And I'm like, all right, cool. Man, I take my black ass over to damn JCPenney, and I try to put on a shirt, and I remember that the sales associate said, oh my God, I've never seen this before. And I was like, what, somebody struggling to get the button tightened? He was like, yes, but then also, even if I give you an extender, you know, the little
Extendo clip.
Yeah, the extendo.
The little stretchy.
Yeah. He was like, it doesn't fit. And I knew at that point right then, period, I gotta make it to the league, bro.
Right.
I gotta make it.
Nothing off the rack. You get nothing off the rack.
Nothing off the rack. I'm proud to say now, though, that it's went down a few inches. I'm still like, you know, custom tailored shouting. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Okay, now let's go back into where you was getting to. Okay, go ahead.
I forgot.
Me going into as free safety.
Oh, yeah. All right. So
I need to hear that part.
We cut that. So, all right, so you came in high school, you started out as a safety. Developed, came linebacker into Florida, defensive end, hybrid. You played everything.
Yeah.
Being all pro, I mentioned earlier, second in voting, AP Defensive Player of the Year 2 years in a row when you first got to Tennessee. You know, people wonder, like, how does this guy get the name the Freak? Well, that's how you get the name Freak, because when you come up and when you look at your stature right now, I'm kind of like, bro, like.
Jealous, man.
Like, bro, you look like a damn. You look like a model, dog.
Yeah.
You are a model, though.
Man, genetics, man. Genetics, bro.
I ain't mad at genetics, though. But, like, when I look at everything and I see everything, it's like you earned that nickname because when you came out, you ran a 4.43 40.
Yes. True.
86-inch wingspan.
True.
This is what, like, killed everything, though. Like, I knew you was a hell of a player, but just the fact that when you went to the combine and you did your vertical jump and you jumped 48 inches vertical jump, I said, oh my goodness, he about to get paid. And that led to you being drafted in the first round by the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
You knew all of that about you. We didn't until we actually saw it.
Right.
It was posted. Like, is that all genetics, or was it just something that you just worked at while you were at Florida, UF?
No, I mean, honestly, like, all of that was genetics. Like, didn't do any kind of extra. Like, back then, we didn't have any kind of extra, like training. Like, you can go see somebody. We went to see Tom Shaw. He was doing a bunch of the combine training up in New Orleans. We was up there for maybe like 2 or 3 days, but we just literally like, all of us went up there. Like, all of us who came out in 98, in the 99 draft was myself, Mike Peterson, Johnny Rutledge, Reggie McGrew, even Nafis Kareem. Like, all of us went up there then to sim, but like, we were like, yeah, it seems pretty cool, whatever. But like, we knew that we was going to get to the combine and that was going to make a difference there, whatever. But like, you can try to teach us like starts and everything else and strides, but that stuff is only going to work. Like, you got to have most of that stuff in you already.
Yeah.
Like even though they have more advanced types of things that they do now as far as training, but like, really, a lot of that stuff, like, they weren't like that advanced then. So basically, we was just going in with God-given talent then.
So with that talent, did you know your first year in the league, you just going to explode on the scene, have all that success, 14 and a half sacks, rookie of the year, and make it to the Super Bowl?
Didn't have any idea. Like, actually, it goes back to draft day. Like going through all the draft stuff, been projected to go like top 10. That sounded all good. That sounded really cool. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. I should do that right there. So you know what? Let's make it happen. But then once draft day came, literally like the night before, I was contacted by maybe about 3 or 4 teams that was in the top 10. Like, and then up until that morning, they wanted to make sure that they had the right number because I didn't go to New York, of course. I was down in Fort Myers with my family and friends.
And you from Fort Myers?
Yes, Fort Myers,
Is that considered
Florida.
the muck?
Nah, the muck is like more like the Bug Lake area.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mucky over there. Yeah. But yeah. So and then literally like the morning of the draft, getting contacted by teams as well. So I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be top 10. So you go to the house. All the family friends over there. It's like a big party, whatever. So I'm back in my aunt's room, just waiting on that phone to ring. And it rung a few times through the top 10 picks. But it wasn't from a team. It was from family members like, hey, did they draft you yet?
Yeah, you hated that, right?
Oh, man, I'm like, come on. Y'all turn your TV on and watch for yourself. Y'all stop wasting up the phone lines and wasting time or whatever. Just stop calling me and get my hopes up. And so then once that top 10 passed by, I'm like, okay, well, not going top 10. Okay, I'm going to see what's going to happen. It should be like sooner after that. And that was that same draft. They drafted it was a bunch of quarterbacks that went. Whole bunch of quarterbacks went, like maybe like 5 quarterbacks went before that was like a quarterback heavy, like
Draft,
heavy draft. And then once the 15th pick came up, it was the Tampa Bay Bucks. And like Tony Dungy was the coach then, and I used to see him. I saw Tony Dungy in Gainesville because he would come down from Tampa a lot for Fellowship of Christian, FCA. Yeah. He would come down from the FCA, then saw him a lot then, talked to him then or whatever. So I'm like, I knew for sure I was gonna go to the Bucks. I'm like, I don't know about the Bucks. It's so close to Fort Myers, only a 2-hour drive. I mean, too close to home. Family and friends gonna try to come up all the time. I don't know about that, but I'm gonna get drafted though. And then didn't get that phone call. And then I got the phone call from Jeff Fisher. Right after that Bucks pick, they were 15, and then the 16th pick came up and phone rung. And at this time, I'm like, man, I wonder who that is now. Ain't no telling who it is. Maybe cousin Junebug or Auntie Brenda or something. I don't know, man. So let me answer this phone, and then, hey, Jevon, Coach Fisher here with the Tennessee Titans. About to take you off the board. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Inside, man, I was that little kid at Christmas time, like spending Christmas in Disneyland, and I got all my presents, and then I'm hanging out with Mickey and everybody. That was inside, but I didn't show all of that. But I'm like, okay, cool. And so then it happened then. But, which is to bring me to my point, that motivated me. I mean, a lot of people be like, you still went first round. You still went first round. Like, that's an honor. Like, and then you like right in the middle of the first round. I'm like, no, I should have went sooner. So guess what? Everybody must pay. Yes. Everybody must pay for this. And so from that point on, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to like go in each game and be like, listen here, I got something to prove to you. Like, if you didn't draft me, you didn't make the right pick in the first 10. Well, whatever. Like, if you didn't pick me before this, you messed up. And if you was after this and then trade up and get me, you didn't make the right choice either. You should have did that as well. So I just went in with the motivation, like it was like I got to prove to the whole world like who I am or whatever. And then it was going in playing a different position. Like I played free safety in high school, and then when I got to UF, I was started off at free safety and then moved to outside backer because I was so aggressive. And then playing outside backer, that was a little thinking, but I wasn't like really in attack mode because I was Sam backer. So I got to mess around with this tight end. I got to go to the tight end side every time. Like, is he blocking? Is he releasing? Like, I don't know what's going on.
You just want to go play.
I just want to go. And then once I got that call, and then once I got the call to come and play DN because during the draft they worked me out at defensive end and linebacker. Mm-hmm. So I did double duty. So I don't know how your combine training, how your combine workouts went, but mine was crazy because I did DN work and linebacker work. Dang. I did double duty.
Well, I could tell you, I did not do double duty. I trained to be a linebacker, but that's the reason why you were called the freak.
Yeah, so I did both of those, and then once I went in to play DN, and then it was like, listen here, we're gonna play a 4-3, line up here, and I want you to get right there. That's it? You mean to get right there? Go get the guy that has the ball right there? Let's go. Let's do this right here.
Regardless of whoever's in front of me, that's where you had to go. And you was like, that's it?
That's it right there. I'm like this, but like in my other thing, like playing stand backer, like I was always on the outside, but I would have to like read the tight end, and depending on what the coverage was, then after that, I got to go and pass rush afterwards, which was kind of like two-gapping. I was like two-gapping from the stand backer position, which was a little bit more thinking, but like it didn't really like let me. I was a racehorse.
Yeah.
I got to get there.
You got to get there.
Got to get there,
Let it
man.
meet. Take the thinking out of it.
Yeah, so that they took that part out of it, and then I got in the same time. My defensive line coach was Jim Washburn. He coached at Arkansas, and a few more places, even semi-pro or whatever. But that was his first year as well. So, like we would have our little personal one-on-one meetings as well. And then we're both rookies. Like, listen, we both got to prove to the world, not just the league, but the world, that we belong here. And then we just went in with that same mentality, and then just took it into each and every game, and it worked out. And not to mention that I went to an 8-8 Tennessee Titans team that went 8-8 maybe 3 years in a row.
Yep.
So like we were trying to turn that corner and get at least one more win. And it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah. Did, and then went to the Super Bowl. What was that experience like in your rookie year?
Oh man. It felt like I was like back in college, like in that SEC, like, you know, like I'm talking the SEC, like playing for the Gators at the time.
Florida was dominant at the time.
Yeah, no,
like,
for real.
How many SEC championships did you even just play in?
My first 2 years.
Yeah.
My first 2 years. Then the next season, we probably started off at number 1, probably ended somewhere in the top 10. Then like my last year as well. So like we were always like that team that like the Alabamas now, whatever. Yeah, like we was that team. And so that always, but back to my rookie year, Super Bowl, like it just felt so good. I'm like, we can do this. I'm like, oh, this all you got to do. Just go ahead and win a few games, and then you got to like own one team, which we owned Jacksonville at the time. That was our home away from home. So I'm like,
and you were playing against one of your college mates at the time?
Yeah, Fred Taylor. Yeah, plays him a lot. But back to that part right there. Fred was one of the first people to call me. That called me when I got drafted, and literally like I was doing interviews with the local media in Fort Myers, and Fred called me. And he told me like what I need to do, and he even told me about his teammates, which was Tony Baselli and Leon Sergi. He was telling me listen, this, you know, you got to go in and take care of your business, whatever, and you're gonna be all right. Yeah. But going to that Super Bowl first year, man, it just felt so surreal because everything happened so fast. It was like running to the season, and then that was also the same season where we didn't have a week in between, which was like the week in between the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. So everything just kept going. It was nonstop, and just basically didn't have time to sit and think about it before you know it. Like just playing through the season, and then we went in as a wild card that season. We went 13-3 and went in as a wild card. And then the team that won our division that year was Jacksonville. They had 2 losses. Guess who their 2 losses was to? Us.
Titans,
and still went in as a wild card, and then like everything just worked out, and then got into that Super Bowl, and just I look back on it like after we played the game, and it's like man, we really played in the Super Bowl. Like didn't really think about it till afterwards because everything was happening that year. I had a lot of success, so I had a bunch of media obligations. So all through the week, I was just being pulled here and pulled there. They would have like special meetings with me just to make sure I'm good, make sure I'm calm, because we used to like 12 game seasons.
Right.
And that season there, whatever, of course, because I went in as a rookie, I played all the preseason games, like literally from first quarter through like maybe like the third quarter, like all 4 preseason games, and then went into the season, and then we was wild card, so that was just games nonstop. Played 25 games, including the Pro Bowl that season, and that was different there. So didn't really have time. So as soon as the season was over, like I was just able just to sit back and look at it, like wow. And then didn't really think about it because I was in Nashville. Nashville was happy. The Nashville showed us a lot of love, but then once I started traveling places and like getting love like everywhere I went, I'm like, I think I did something good this season. I think so.
When you talk about thinking about doing something good, little history lesson. We were in the same division, playing against Cincinnati, and we played y'all 2 times a year. I remember that next year we came to Tennessee, one of probably the top 2 visiting stadiums that I ever played in when it comes to fan engagement.
Yeah.
Everything. I remember when they introduced you coming out the tunnel, and the stadium literally got quiet because they knew he was coming. They played this video, not the video, but the music clip. And the music clip, it was like, freak out.
Freak out.
Yeah.
Little freak. Say shit.
Freak out. So I'm like, he got a song? I went back. I was like, look, Mike Brown, Mr. Mike Brown, owner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, I know you heard, like, Jevon, and he a year younger than me in the league, but we the same age. Like, maybe we can have, like, play another Love TKO.
Yeah.
Well, Takeo, they do a little something different down there in Tennessee. But I thought that was so hot. Every time he got a sack, they would play this song, Freak Out, and then have him in the background on the Jumbotron, like dancing and wilding and everything. So, bro, like, what did that do for your ego, your confidence? Like, did you come up with that, or did they just, was that collectively they came up with that with you?
They came up with it, didn't tell me anything about it. And once I got that 1 second, they played that. I was like, oh man, I like this. And so there was like another game, like I was just making my routine plays, but it wasn't a big play. And then they decided to play the song, but without it wasn't after the play. They decided to play the song just anyways. And guess what that motivated me to do?
Go get it.
Went and got it. Went and got it. No, it was cool, but because like now, I run into some of the former guys, like Hall of Fame guys, like Charles Woodson, and even Sapp, talking to him at different times. They were like, bro, they're like, man, I'll never forget the time we was at our stadium and like you sacked our quarterback and they played that song for you. Like, bro, you had your own song in the stadium. I'm like, yeah, they did show some love there.
Major love.
That's
Major
heavy
love,
right there,
yeah.
man.
It was big.
That's heavy. You talk about Sapp, man. He said he's going to come on. We actually spent some time with him in London. How did it feel coming into the league second in Defensive Player of the Year voting behind a Warren Sapp that just had a phenomenal year that year?
It felt awesome. I mean, but personally between us,
Did you feel you should
between us and whoever else sees this or listens to this, even Sapp told me, like, he was like, bro, like, you probably did deserve that one.
Yeah.
But it gave it to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Bow down to you. I'll let you have that one there. But I should have got it that year. Yeah. But you know what? I still had an awesome rookie campaign, and then that just set the stage for other things. It boosted football morale, like in the city. Got a bunch more fans involved, and also it still helps me out now. Like I can still go to Nashville now and get all types of whatever I need in Nashville just because of that season there. Dope. And that's what they remember. Like that was the season we went to the Super Bowl. That season that we jumped back, that we really took the league by storm, and then that became the norm. That became the norm of Titan football.
The Music City Miracle, right?
Yes.
That which ended up getting you guys to the Super Bowl. So I remember that. I wanted to ask you how, like, you know, when you came out and you did so much, you accomplished so much, especially in a short period of time. I think that's key as a young player when you get into the NFL, when you look at the big picture of things. But some of the knocks on you because you were not the prototypical type size of a defensive end, 6'5", 280 pounds, 6'5", 270 pounds. You know, people were like, you know what? This is a reach by Jeff Fisher. I don't think he'll be able to hold up going up against tackles. I'm sure you heard I know you heard some of the same things. And you saw it in print too. Like what did that do for you from a mental standpoint of knowing, like, you know what, I got to change the narrative to this?
See, I already had a fire going on inside of me anyways, and that was just some gasoline that was throwing me then. And that just sparked it up even more because going into the combine, really like going into like once I declared myself like eligible for the draft, they threw that label on me, that tweener. Like, what the hell is a tweener? What the hell? Like, I never heard of that word right there. I mean, I like Twinkies and everything like that, but
I know
tweener.
Tweeners.
Yeah.
Let's get away.
Yes, one crumb away.
He was 2 biscuits away. He went from secondary, not only to linebacker, but then went all the way down to the defensive line.
So like I was labeled a tweener going into the draft, and like tweener, they was like too big for linebacker, too small for DN, and so actually I think right before the combine in Indy, I decided to jump on the Phosphagen. Did the Phosphagen or whatever, like, cause I had teammates who were taking that. So I'm like, let me get on this and try to bulk up because I'm thinking like between linebacker and DN, I think the DN thing sack specialists, I think they get paid more than linebackers. I'm just saying. So
Pig, you figured that one out, right?
I'm just saying. So you know what? I'm gonna just bulk up and then go into the combine like this. And so I went in to win at the combine. I was 265. Trust me, that was the only time I was 265. Was just for that right there. And I didn't even do anything at the combine. I went to the workout that we did in Gainesville and got back down there. And then, they were still saying tweener. I'm like, man, I tried to make y'all minds up for you. Try to take the tweener part off. And then they still saying tweener. I'm like, you know what? Y'all get that phosphorus out of my locker. I don't need that. I'm just going to go in natural. And then was back down to the 255 and went in. And that's when I ran that pretty good time. That awesome,
4.43.
Yeah, had that vertical leap and had all that.
Inches.
But the thing is, I felt more comfortable at that right there because I felt kind of bloated, I wasn't my natural self at the 264, 265 range there. And so then that pretty much just motivated me. Then once I got drafted as a DN, I was thinking they may be thinking about just having me come in to rush the quarterback just on third downs and stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm an every down back. No, I want to be down there because it's more sacks. Sometimes they pass the ball on first and second down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, I want to be in on first and second down as well. So my job is I met with my coach quite often, and he was like, listen here, what you got to do, whenever you get lined up, beat the person in front of you. So not thinking about the quarterback. So if it's if I shoot up on the ball, I can whatever you think you're gonna do, whatever. No, I'm gonna dictate all of this right here because I'm gonna get off on this damn ball and give you so much speed to where you're gonna start showing me. You're gonna start showing me what's coming. Either you're gonna show me that light hand that you're gonna drop back in that pass, in the pass block, or you're gonna try to shoot off or whatever. But I'm gonna be into your shit so fast and shoot these long 86 inch
wingspan
up in there, and then as soon as you try to recoil, I'm up out of there right there. So I mean, just went in. I just went in with that mentality there, whatever. So each play or whatever, I want to be known as a full defensive end. And so I'm playing the run, I'm playing the pass, I'm doing all that stuff, and it worked out to my advantage.
And the first 3 years, double-digit sacks each of your first 3 years. That's amazing. But you played against some of the greats in your era on the offensive tackle side.
Yes.
Willie Roaf.
Yes.
A few names at you. Walter Jones.
Yes.
J.O.
Yes.
One of your former teammates, Bruce Matthews.
Willie Anderson.
Willie Anderson.
That
you saw quite a bit.
Yes.
Which one of those guys gave you the most fits, and which one of those guys did you enjoy going against?
One that gave me the most fits was Leon Kearse.
Leon, okay.
Yes, you got Leon Kearse, after you, whatever. Kearse was solid on that right side.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he never got the props that he should have got. They gave all the hype to Baselli.
Yeah.
But Baselli wasn't the blind side. Mark Brunell is a lefty.
Yeah.
So the blind side guy was Kearse. And Kearse just had that height. He was just that height because taller guys, I can shake you up and get you to straighten up a little bit and then just drop down on you to get around. But Kearse he was a little shorter, so he never bit on that, and he had a crazy punch. You know that punch where
damn right I know that punch.
You know that punch when you get revived where it looked like, oh shit, I think we lost him. I think we lost him. Okay. So listen, that was there. Going against Kearse was I had to pack my hard hat, lunch pail, steel toes boot, and go to work on that one there. So that one's always good one there. And then my favorite one was go against was Willie Anderson with the Bengals. Right there was that was a teammate. Yeah. Right there that was always a fun one there. That was always a fun one.
What made that matchup so fun?
Because he was also taller, but then again, he was also athletic. I guess back in the day, most offensive linemen wasn't as athletic, just big, whatever.
Easy.
No, I'm just saying. No, I said back in the day. I said back in the day. Back in the day, but by the time I got in there, it was the Tony Basellis in the JOs. Mm-hmm. These guys can go out on the basketball court and probably can cross you over and do whatever. So it was a changing of the guard then. So going against those guys there, it was more athletic. So it wasn't about just speeding them. Now you got to just do a little bit more to shake them up, to get them to stop their feet. And then going against Willie, it was fun. And then just looking forward to it like twice a year, but going against him twice a year, going against J.O. twice a year. Listen, man.
I never thought about that.
No, it was
still
work.
put up them numbers.
And oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You can't get this nowhere else other than behind the mask.
I'm telling you.
Willie Anderson eventually will be in the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Pro Bowl Hall of Fame nominee.
Yeah.
Tony Baselli, Leon Searcy.
J.O.'s there.
Yeah.
J.O. is there. You played against all of these guys 2 times a year, and you still put up the numbers that you did.
Yeah. The thing is, I just had that motor, man. I just had that motor.
You had a motor and skill.
Yeah. But definitely, like I figured, like if I don't get it like early on in the game, whatever, like in that third and fourth quarter, because like all of our games were close. Like playing, like our team was always, each game we played was like close. It was within 3 to 7 points. Like I would say our first season, 16 games, we probably won maybe 10 out of the 13, probably within like 7 points or less. And they were always like down to the end to where like anything can still happen, and teams just trying to score that touchdown, that final drive, and that's when I just keep it coming, and then sooner or later somebody's gonna mess up.
You had the privilege of playing up under Jeff Fisher, head coach of the Tennessee Titans, and then also Andy Reid, Big Red for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, you know, playing up under both of those guys, man, it's like I had the opportunity to spend some time with Jeff Fisher, played up under Andy Reid for a year. What's the biggest difference out of those 2 head coaches?
Oh, man. I mean, personally, like what comes off the top of my head, whatever, like playing in Tennessee under Fisher, it was a different type of coaching style there, whatever. Like say, if we were to get a lead on any team, like the play calling was still kind of vanilla. It was still kind of, I'm not going to say conservative, but close to conservative.
Yeah,
Get
close
it?
to conservative as you can say.
Yeah, close conservative as I can say or whatever. And then but then again, it allowed us on defense to play a lot more defense. See if we get like a little, like maybe a 3-point lead, and and then like we're off the field, and then the offense on the field, you know, you may run Eddie right, may run Eddie left, may check down to a Y check, and then literally, like we heard so many times during the game, all right, guys, go get the ball back. You kind of give that look like, how come we didn't try to do something when we had the ball? But you know what? That's our job. That's our job. Let's go take care of what we got to take care of, because that's what we get paid to do, to play defense. And then things did work out because Fisher knew that he had a biting defense. Now, playing for Andy Reid, I don't care if you got a 1-point lead or a 2-point lead. Each time we go out on the field, we going for the jugular. I don't care if we're up by 14 points. If you got the hand around our throat, not Jeff Fisher, Andy Reid was like, let's tighten it up a little bit more, and a little bit more. And it was somewhat different, but you get used to playing like those are our coaches, and that's our job. So that's what we got to do. So you get used to doing that, no matter what it is or what situation it is. So, but playing with Andy Reid, he was one of those guys he's one of those guys, like I would say, even like when we like had meetings and stuff. Like say if we're with Andy Reid, we got meetings that we're supposed to do. If we finish with the meetings and then, you know, let us go. You guys be quiet when you're leaving and don't interrupt anyone else or whatever. You know, because if you go through watch the game film that you're supposed to watch or the practice tape you're supposed to watch, you're done. The difference between that and then and Jeff Fisher was like literally, like if we're at meeting time, that was from this time to that time. He wanted you in there for that whole time. Even if you finish with like 30 minutes left, now the rest of the time we just probably playing like bottle flipper or whatever it is to just fill the time. So we got to sit there during that time, whatever. So that was different between both of them. But both of them were really great coaches. And then they had like, I think they were like 2 of the coaches with the longest tenures.
Yeah,
like
to the team.
Yeah, like with their team at the time. So like it was pretty cool, like playing for both teams. But it was a little different, like when it came to that or whatever. But like both awesome coaches, and both coaches were fun to play with.
No doubt. And being the freak, we saw on NFL Network, we saw a clip that they said one of the players in the NFL that was most underrated in terms of how he impacted the league of his time during your time?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And then also, do you see any players that kind of resemble your style of play that's playing the game today?
Oh man. Okay, the first part. How'd I feel about that? I mean, I didn't think I was underrated.
Meaning underappreciated.
Underappreciated, yeah. You know what? Like as I go back, because a lot of the stuff that I did on the field, like I never even really like paid close attention to it or whatever, till someone else point out to me, whatever. And that's actually how I got the nickname The Freak, which just like back in college. See, if a play started like on the right-hand side, like outside, and then end up cutting back and on the left side all the way down the field, and next thing you know, you see
the freak.
You see the freak over there. I didn't think about it. I'm like, listen, I'm just here to play. And then when I got to college, I was splitting time 50-50 with Mike Peterson. So people didn't know that. People didn't realize, like, listen, I'm making the most of my time on this field. So literally, like, I can start on one side and listen, I'm chasing down whatever I got to chase down, whatever. Listen, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have the scholarship. I'm trying to do my thing. And then once I got into the league, like, it was just, I brought like a different style of play, because like I wasn't satisfied with just taking on my block and sticking my blocker back in, like sticking him back in the backfield. Like now I want to shed you and go chase this ball down. So like I mostly got props like during the offseason, like guys like your motor just don't stop. I'm like, man, because I feel like if I'm on the field, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. If I'm tired or can't do it, then just take me off the field.
Right.
I'm gonna go to the sideline and let somebody else come out there and do their thing with it. But if I'm out there, I'm gonna go. Like I don't care where the ball is. I don't care if you throw a 20-yard pass.
You're going to get it.
I'm turning around, I'm running, I'm chasing it down, because anything happen, it can be a cutback or whatever. And then that actually led to, like, I got drafted 99, 16th pick, and I think that probably led to whoever got drafted the next season, number 1 pick.
Courtney Brown.
For real.
Yeah.
That's the influence that you are aware of now.
Exactly.
I'm just saying whatever, but I don't want to take credit for all of that. But
you should.
I would say I was one of the guys that helped that helped the defensive end like position evolve, because it wasn't just about having like a 285-pound guy, 270-pound guy, whatever. You can stick your guy there that's 250. Who got good pad level, got good get off, who knows the game, who know how to play sideline to sideline. And so that first part, okay, what's the second part?
The next one, so you talked about that, how it influenced the game moving forward at your position. So who do you see in today's game that you think, you know what, that reminds me of a young freak out there? Or is there anybody?
Yeah, you got 52 for the Bears. You got Mack, you got Khalil Mack, you got a Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
You got there's a few guys out there, even like a Von Miller. Like that's I got a bunch of matches like the way he get his. He just basically just gets up on the ball and he has that dip.
Yeah, it gets low.
He gets that dip, and like I played with good pad level too, where like if I'm coming up, getting off the ball and just dip a little bit, like I gave no area. Okay, you know.
Listen, I watch film. I see it.
So right there, whatever. But like that was like it was just God-given talent that I came up doing that. Like I work with my defensive line coaches as well, but that stuff right there was just like I was playing. Like I would like see myself playing in the backyard, playing with my brothers, playing with my cousins, then just doing something that I thought was cool, but it ended up like working out for me. So that part right there just evolved into like me playing defensive end, and then as long as I'm put in a position to where I can do that, say 2-gapping,
that ain't it.
That wasn't it. Not for a racehorse.
It's not your passion. That's all. You
No,
can do it, but it's
not
just
my forte.
I can do it, but I'm like, but I can get there a lot better. Like I can, if I just go, I can get there. But then again, like depending on your team scheme and whatever, like how they play defense, then that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I think about just seeing you evolve over so many years, and you have to give a lot of credit to, I truly believe, and I say this all the time when I do a lot of charity work, you can't be what you can't see. And so I'm pretty sure you had some guys who, when you walked inside of that locker room, who had positive influence on you. And I think it's important that we address the elephant in the room that you played with the legendary Steve Mcnair.
Yes.
And he accomplished a lot. but talk about how he impacted your life, and what did you learn from it?
Honestly,
now that he's passed on.
Honestly, like I said, like I was a first round pick, so you want to go in as a first round pick. You want to go into the team like, I belong here. I should be here. But deep down inside, I'm like, dude, I'm in the same locker room as number 9, Steve, Mcnair, Eddie George. Like, I need Eddie George out of Ohio State. Like, I'm here on the same team as these guys, man. So, like, I went into the Titans like, man, like, oh, man, like, this is an awesome honor, man, to just be here. And then I'm thinking, like, I'm going to get, not just teased or whatever, but you know how they welcome you into the league. And listen, they put me to the side. Like, I think Eddie probably put me to the side first. Where like, listen here, man, we need you to come here. Like, we got to get past this 8-8 hump. This 8-8 thing has been on our back for the past 3 years. So as far as like the hazing and stuff went, like you probably got to sing your school song. But on top of that, ain't no time to haze when you don't even have a winning record.
Yeah,
they didn't have a losing record, but it wasn't a winning record. You shouldn't be hazing nobody at that time. Now you got to get the guys in. Listen, we got a job to do. Listen, let's get on the same page. Let's go do this job. But maybe like if you're a team that makes it to the playoffs like every year, maybe you can haze, have a little fun then. But like say if you're not coming off a winning season. Ain't no time to haze. Right. You got to just get in and just try to get as much that you can get in. And then Steve was like one of the next guys, whatever. Like down south guy from Mississippi, southern down to the bone, and literally like he was one of those guys that literally like it wasn't no hazing, like he was, and like he wasn't one of those rah people. Like he's one of those people that he led by example, like he led by action, he let his action speak.
Yeah.
And then that stuff right there it just translated over. And then like I remember playing a few years with them, even my first year and second year, like dude didn't even practice during the week because he was so beat up.
Banged up, huh?
Yeah. But man, on Sundays, is that the same dude who was in the locker room like all week long in the training room, never even like he probably come out and just watch practice, but then you get out there in game time. And most of the time, you need your quarterback out on the field and practice for that relationship with your receivers, even with your running back, like the handoffs and everything else. Yeah. And like the timing thing. And then like he like didn't I don't know whenever they did it or whatever, but like it wasn't during the practice when we were out there. Mm-hmm. Then he get out there in the game and like, man. Oh, that's why they call him Mcnair. That's why he has this job. That's why he's number 9. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, like Steve was one of those guys that like he was just like a big brother to everyone. Like Eddie was as well, but Eddie was that big brother, that vocal big brother, and Steve was that big brother that you just sit back and like, man, he really does his thing, and then he don't care if he get any accolades or people like praise him or whatever. He just goes to work every day. My dude, blue collar.
Listen, I played against him 2 times a year, and I remember seeing him come out of Alcorn State.
Yeah.
And they was like, Steve Mcnair. And I was like, let me see what makes Steve so good. Like I saw what SportsCenter showed me.
Yeah.
But I need to see for myself. His ability to be as strong as he was, and to be able to shake people off, even when they haven't, still be able to deliver the football. And that's the reason why I asked you, like, the influence, because I know he had a lot of influence. I remember him coming up to me after a game, and we played y'all down there. We actually beat y'all. I think it was the last game of the year, but he was like, Takeo, I know you don't get a lot of credit as you think you deserve. He was like, I know you deserve it because I play against you and I see you.
Right.
He was like, but I just want to let you know it's not falling upon deaf ears. Continue doing what you do in Cincinnati, and somebody will acknowledge it.
That's it.
That's all I needed. I was like, oh, that's real.
I mean, to be real, that's pretty much one of like the same conversation that we had like when I first got in there, whatever. Because like I was there, and then when I first got there, I would like they didn't want me like in the strong role, so I was a backup like when I first got there. So he was like, listen, just keep doing what you're doing. And then like he reminded me of a play one day like we did like during like early in training camp. They ran the option, and then literally like I'm slow playing Steve Mcnair. Like literally, like I'm slow playing him, and then I'm just shuffling. And then he pitched to the running back, and I just boom right down the running back. This all in the backfield still, not even upfield. And he was like, bro, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Trust me. And like his influence was his influence was the kind like literally like he goes into a game, he get picked off, so he gets hit or a bad play or whatever. He got the same face on. You know, like he's put it behind him, and that kind of stuff taught me how like of whatever happens, let it happen, to move on to the next one. And so like that what I took into each game, whatever, because like Steve he didn't always play the perfect game, but you would never see him flustered. You would never see him like still like thinking about like what happened in the past. He's thinking about just moving forward. And then I just remember that mentality right there going into each game. Like, listen here, like just if you make a bad play, live to see the next play and then make up for it then.
Right. And he was, I mean, the league is like a brotherhood, and you know, we didn't necessarily know each other in the league like that, but you talk so passionately about him. We all remember where we were at during his unfortunate, untimely passing, man. So, you know, talk about how that kind of affected you when you heard about it.
It was terrible. It was the 4th of July. I was down in Fort Lauderdale by the sea, which is like down in Fort Lauderdale, and I was about to eat lunch at a Greek spot, and I get a phone call. It's from Albert, because actually I was back in Tennessee at that time, and like my first 8-9 years, I never did the off-season program. I'm going to Florida. Trust me, I'm come back ready to play. Like I'll probably like chill, like probably February, March, April, May.
June.
And then, no, that was in the early part. That was in the early part. But
yes,
then, like each year, but each year, like I probably started working out a little sooner because I know like I was getting older and my body needed it. But like during that time, I was doing the out-season program back in Tennessee because I was back there. I did like my first 5 Tennessee, then I went to Philly for the next 4, then back to Tennessee for my last 2, 08 and 09. And then 08 and 09, I was doing the out-season program back in Tennessee. And we would like, you know, do our little morning workout, our conditioning, our weights. And then Steve actually opened up a little fast food type restaurant, like just down the road, like maybe like 5 minutes from the facility, like right down the road from TSU. And we would go there, me, myself, Vince, Bull, Keith Bullock, a bunch of the guys would go there and just hang out, grab something to eat, and just, you know, just chop it up. Just talk about like, you know, like about life, about the team, and just about just any topic it is. We talked about traveling and every other thing or whatever. And then just talking to him then, and that, like, man, it's gonna be pretty cool. You know, I'm back with the Titans, and then I get to go like leave work and then go hang out with Steve. That was cool there. And then was going like after the off-season program ended right before training camp, and then was at the restaurant back down in Florida. Fast forward back down in Florida at the restaurant about to eat, and then I get a phone call. It's from Albert Hainsworth. And then they answer the phone like, what's going on, Albie? No, we call him Bobo. He back when we first got there, he told us this joke about Bobo the clown. I feel I didn't know. But yes, he was like, man, he's like Freak, what's going on? I'm like, I'm just chilling by the grass on the eat. What's good? Like, oh man, you'll never believe who got killed or who died or whatever. I'm like, who? He said, man, Steve. I'm like, Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter? Like, not Steve Mcnair. Yeah. He's like, man, Steve. I'm like, man, like, please don't, no, man, stop playing, man. You play too much. Too many jokes.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, for real, they found him dead. He's like, man, they got the apartment roped off and everything else. And then I think I went to maybe like a website or something, or made some phone calls up here, and they said it happened. And like literally that day, like the 4th of July, never be the same to me. I remember that phone call, and then like right around that time, like I don't forget about it, but just going along, you know, 4th of July, like where am I gonna hang out, or am I doing fireworks this year, or what the deal is, and then go on social media and somebody post something. I never forget. Like I never forget, or you always be remembered. Then you see like a Steve Mcnair meme or some whatever. And then that day right there, it's just like it was felt like throughout not just Tennessee, but just I think it was felt like this throughout like the whole football community.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, fast forward to when you look at the game today and you see the influence of a Steve Mcnair. you see the influence of a Donovan Mcnabb.
Yes.
These guys who came in and they've had so much success after beating the stereotypical, well, at one point in time, black quarterbacks, they were not even allowed to even play the position.
Right.
Now these guys have came in and set the tone and the tempo, and you see so many trailblazers that are coming after them. Week 14 in the NFL.
Yes.
The top 5 rated quarterbacks in the NFL coming into week 14. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
And all of them are black.
Yes.
So when you see, or you even have the opportunity to say, you know what? I was a part, or I played with one of the pioneers who really started and gave these younger guys the opportunity. Goes back to what I always say. You can't be what you can't see.
Right.
And I'm sure all of these guys saw a Donovan Mcnabb, Steve Mcnair. How does that make you feel when you see now, at one point in time, black quarterbacks didn't even have the opportunity to even say, you know what, coming out of college, I'm still going to play quarterback. They would try to put them at a different position. What are your thoughts and your feelings of seeing now, coming into week 14, the top 5 rated quarterbacks in the National Football League are black?
It's an honor. I mean, not just playing with Steve McNair, but also playing with Donovan Mcnabb.
Yeah.
Like playing with those guys who literally I'm sure they probably wasn't supposed to play the position, but like they came in and did what they had to do, whatever. Like it's nothing that you can take away from them. Like you can throw whatever out there, like the reason why they play the position or why they're so good at the position, but like it flat out, it comes down to just being able to play the position, but then play it at a high level, which was one of those levels like they're not ready for. They were not ready for it then. I would say like now they're somewhat ready for it now, but then they just wasn't ready for it then because like they were mobile guys. And then like to be honest, like just being mobile and being able to throw the ball, they just don't put the two together. Like either you can run the ball and like and get the hell up out of there, or you can like be able to throw the ball. But being able to do both, it just was kind of like, nah, I don't like this. Nah, this should be like this. But now it's like, you know what? Now it's the norm now.
I got to get me one of these.
Yes, I want one of those. I want one of those for Christmas, Mom.
Just like they wanted a freak when he when you came in the league.
Yes. But so but like definitely like it was on the playing with both of those guys, and then just knowing like I got a chance to play with those guys, and like now those are the guys that evolved the quarterback position for these guys now.
But similar to when you came out, remember you were a tweener.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson lighting the league up now for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
They said maybe we need to stick him at wide receiver or running back or something else. That's what all the skeptics say.
Dumb.
He's lighting the league up this year, man. But then you still see people trying to,
poke at him
and find chinks in the armor. Recently played the Niners and the reporter said
Tim Ryen.
What did he say, Spice? That he had a dark uniform,
dark skin,
and a dark football, so that gave him an advantage.
Oh man,
what do you think? What are your thoughts on that, man? We have ours, but what are your thoughts on that?
I was disappointed to hear that, like in this day and age, especially like someone that has a position like that. Like I kind of get what he was saying. But you don't say that. Yeah. I kind of get what he was saying, but you just don't say that. Like he's taken away from like once he do that fake, what about everything else? Like what about his running ability? What about him passing the ball? Like what about his decision making? Like that doesn't have anything to do with your dark skin. So that part right there really confused me. Like at this day and age, like I just had to shake my head like for real. But I'm like, but if that's how you want to try to justify why this guy's good, you're really taking away from his natural ability, like his talent level, like his skill level, like it took us back. It took us back a little bit.
It did, and then that you almost lose credibility as a media person because defense as a defensive guy, you're taught not to be nosy.
Right.
Follow your scheme.
That's
This is
it.
your gap. This is where you're supposed to be on this play. Regardless what the court-
Assignment.
your
Assignment. Yes.
And you got 22 eyes on defense. 11 guys, 22 eyes.
Yes.
You can't tell me all 22 eyes are being fooled by what you think is a fake advantage.
No.
You know what I mean?
But my thing is, what happens when they're not wearing the dark uniforms and he still does the same thing?
Same damn thing.
The same thing. So yeah, that's one of those things where like when I saw that surface, I'm like, nah, this can't be happening. Not right now.
Yeah.
And like he's a team like the team right or whatever. Like that's not cool.
Yeah, I didn't like it because I played for the 49ers.
Right.
And I mean, I echo your same sentiments. Tim Ryen, he's their analyst
In-house.
for their team in-house, week to week. So he see what they do on a consistent basis. And, his exact words were, he's really good at that fake Lamar Jackson, but when you consider his dark skin color with the dark football, with the dark uniform, you could not see that thing. He said on the Murph and Mac radio show. I mean, you literally could not see when he was in and out of the mesh point. And if you're half a step slow on him in terms of your vision, forget about it. He's out of the gate. He's at it. The 49ers, even Jed York, went as far as making sure that type of behavior was not tolerated. So they went ahead and suspended him for a game.
Right.
I've had the opportunity to me be playing there and talking with him when he was doing color commentary for games for Fox.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in his words because I felt like he was trying to show or paint a picture. But bro, you picked up the wrong. You picked up the wrong damn brush when you do that.
He did.
And to your point, I think you hit it on the head. You've been in the game long enough, Tim. I don't think
Yes.
I would like to say, by me knowing him, I will say this. He never came off, and guys, people of color, black guys, everybody always rock with Tim.
That's what I've heard.
Like, and I would like to say he didn't mean it in a malicious standpoint, but you said what you said and you meant what you meant.
Right.
And if we're friends, I gotta hold you accountable.
You got to.
We have to.
You got to be held accountable.
Like, that's
for that right
imperative.
there.
So I
Yes.
appreciate Jed York for the San Francisco 49ers addressing that. But to your point, what I'm disappointed about was the fact that, listen, man, you are discounting everything that this young man has been through every day, every night, every battle to when he came to the combine a year ago.
Right.
And everybody looked at him and asked him,
What position?
what position are you going to play?
Yes.
And he was like, quarterback.
Yeah.
And if I'm not going to play quarterback, I'm not going to work out.
Right.
And so you're I just thought it was, I don't want to say it was ignorant, because the definition of being ignorant is when you don't know any better. Tim,
was
you know
lack of
better.
knowledge.
It was disappointing. It was just disappointing to me just hearing that at this day and age, and especially like with what this kid has did since they put him out there last year, and then this season alone. Like I was just saying to him, whatever. Like it's one thing you talk about dark uniforms, but they also wear white uniforms, and he's doing the same thing.
All right, your last name is Kearse, and you always do a play on words, the gift and the curse.
Yes.
Who are some of the people that provided motivation in your life, or who are some of the gifts in your life?
My motivation, and then what I think what also helped me in football was, like, I would say I grew up without a father figure. Like, my father got murdered when my mother was pregnant with me, so I never even met my father. So like most of the time, like I had an uncle here and there who would like pop in and pop out or whatever, but it was my mom stuck being the mother and the father, and then her raising 6 boys and 1 girl. She got stuck. She got caught up in the dad role, so that was her role there. So like she did the the discipline thing, whatever that was her thing there, whatever. It's like she forgot to do the mom thing, which like I had like other family members to cover that. But then it basically like it forced me to mature at an early age. So I was always into babysitting my younger siblings, like even cooking food for us, doing the laundry, like literally like staying home, babysitting them like while my older brother was doing whatever. So I was like the big brother and damn near like the man of the house. So I got stuck doing that. And then once I started playing football, then like I had coaches who kind of took on that role as well, who was kind of father, like mentors, father figures as well. And then it just got instilled in me or whatever. I'm like, you know what? Like no matter, because of my situation at home, I can still be a better person, be a positive person, because I could have easily just shut it down and just say that I'm a victim of my environment or whatever. But I'm like, you know what? That's not working for me, which that catapulted me into doing all of my charity work. So I do a bunch of charity work. I give back backpacks. I give back Thanksgiving turkeys. Gave out 700 turkeys this year. I do a toy drive I've been doing now for the past 6 years. And I did the backpacks and the turkey thing for like the past like maybe 14, 15 years. So then just by giving back with that, because like I was one of those kids who didn't think that I had a chance, didn't think that I would ever like amount to anything. And then once it happened, I'm like, you know what? If I did it, anybody can do it. So whenever I have events, whatever, I talk to kids and I try to motivate them and try to let them know no matter what your circumstance is, you can still make something out of yourself. You can still make it out of whatever situation that you're in now, whatever. You just gotta, like my little buddy, this little kid named Aiden told me, you gotta think big. You gotta think big. So like when you're thinking big right there, it's just a different thought process to where, you just not motivate yourself, but you got to motivate everyone around you. So like whenever I do like a charity event, I'm doing my thing, and then also I'm trying to motivate at least each person that's there, each parent, each kid there, to try to make a difference in at least one person's life that you know, and then eventually everyone is going to get that same bug, and then everybody's going to be able to uplift everyone.
All right, so I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this, because we go deep on knowledge on Behind the Mask. So you played with a fantastic team in college. Some of the guys you played with, you talked about Mike Peterson,
yes,
Reggie McGrew, Jaquez Green, Fred Taylor.
Yes.
This question I have for you is this. Your roommate in college was who?
My roommate in college? Oh, man.
Well, hold on. This particular roommate said, Fred T.
It was him.
You killed every time he was expecting to come back to the room to eat his ramen noodles.
No.
He said you used to eat all of his damn noodles.
No, Fred used to steal my ramen noodles. Well, I would get him to say if I was out, but like anytime that I restock, I'd be like, yo, Fred, I restocked ramen noodles. And then I also got couple noodles. He never got couple noodles. He always did the ramen noodles. So he was still my couple. He was still my couple noodles along with ramen noodles. But I would, yeah.
You replace it,
but only I think I did the cream of the cream of chicken in another flavor. Another flavor like I never touched. But yeah, ramen noodles. College life.
You had to have them, huh?
# college life. Yes.
Listen, I could go on the record and say I've never had ramen noodles.
Oh man, you don't know what you're missing.
Never.
What? You never got ramen noodles? You never cut up some hot dogs and threw them in there?
No.
Oh man.
He don't eat anything that starts with a P.
I don't eat nothing that starts with a P. So no pork, pineapples, pancakes, pizza, pina coladas, potatoes.
None of that.
Nothing that starts with a P.
Pineapple. Oh, you don't know what pineapple does for you?
Nah, what does pineapple do?
It makes your bodily fluid sweet.
Do you have to be told that, or do you just?
I'm just saying. This was told. I was put on game by someone else older.
So if I do eat pineapples, can I call it fruit? Because I eat flapjacks, but I don't eat pancakes.
Oh man, get out of here, man! What the fuck is this dude talking
You eat
about?
I eat French fries, but I don't eat potatoes.
You eat crepes, but you don't eat pancakes, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Just French pancakes, okay.
Nah, man. But bro, we appreciate you stopping by the Behind the
Thanks
Mask,
for having me, man.
blessing us with your presence, man. Much respect, bro. Congratulations on your honor.
Yes, sir. And where can the people follow you, find you? You know, where can they know about the Freak?
I'm on social media. I'm Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's under my name, Jevon Kearse.
We got you.
Yeah, Jevon Kearse. And my plug on Instagram is my curse is my gift. My curse is my gift. You get it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool, right?
It's
My
definitely
curse,
right on
like
it.
these hands, like this wingspan, this.
The shirt.
Yeah.
He's about to- he's about to put
You know
up-
what the model like?
Yeah.
He's really a model now.
Get to the people.
Go ahead,
Get
give it to the
My
people.
curse. No,
Listen,
it's my gift.
We got
It's my gift.
We got to get the female listeners
No.
and viewers up. Go ahead, give it to the
Baby.
people.
No,
Just one time.
I mean,
what's up?
I'm still sitting good. No, I'm still sitting good. Like I'm still in the gym. It's therapeutic to me right now. And then when you got a nickname like the Freak, it's like, oh my goodness, I used to be the Freak. I'm like, no, I am the Freak. No, I got a certain physical appearance that I try to
Absolutely.
uphold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you do it quite well.
it works. It works.
It works for you.
It works. Yeah.
Right on, man.